I'm just curious about your emotions right now. I was thinking about it today, and I was looking back at like every single year, the common emotions when the season ended, and some unique emotions depending on which team I was on. You've obviously won a championship. I don't know what those emotions are like, but what can you just describe what the end of the season is like?
Well, look, can we cheers first before we even?
You're right. You're right. My bad.
Can we cheers?
Yeah.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Shit. Where am I emotionally right now? I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea where I am emotionally right now. Obviously, going against the defending champions in the first round is always going to be a difficult challenge. We knew that coming into it. But fuck, we had so many opportunities, man. And to lose in 5, 2 of them being game winners by, Jamal, his greatness. But we had so many opportunities. Obviously, being up, 20, in game 2, and they're building and losing that game, and having so many opportunities in other games, you just feel like shit. If one play here, one play there, could have made a hell of a difference. But when you're playing against a team like that, you have zero room for error, and I believe we made too many errors in some of the games. I've seen some crazy ass stat about like the minutes that we were leading in the series compared to losing in the series. But we both know that's a little bit of fool's gold, because most playoff games come down to 1 or 2, 3 or 4 possessions. And if you're not able to capitalize off those possessions or make plays during those possessions, then that's how you lose games. So, emotionally, I feel like we was like right there, obviously in every game to be able to steal a game, but also at the same time, we weren't, and that's why we lost the series. And shit hurts, obviously. Being a competitor, competitor you are. You've been in multiple series in your career as well, but fuck, man, I feel like a couple plays here, a couple plays there. We could have won the series, but the better team won. The better team won for sure. Give credit where credit is due.
I think that's fair. I want to go back to the singular play thing in a second, but I was thinking about the come down of the season, and was having a conversation with someone who's worked in the NBA a long time a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the stress levels of different positions within the NBA, right? Front office, coaching, players, all that.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a player, you're always on edge during the season.
Always.
You're there's no like comfort level. The intensity, even just like going to dinner with friends, you're still like wired
thinking about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when the season ends, that was always the weirdest transition. There's certainly sometimes anger, there's certainly sadness, like that. Those emotions are there, but it's like, I know this sounds fucking weird, man, but sometimes when the season would end, I would be like, okay, I need to figure out how I can re-enter society. Because I've had to be on for the last 7, 8 months.
7, 8, 9 months. Yep, for sure. Yep, you're absolutely right, man. And it's getting readjusted to what reality actually really is. Is always difficult after the season, because, like you said, you've been in such a bubble, for 7, 8 months, whatever the case, however long the season was, that getting reacclimated to actuality, society, is always a transition.
Do you approach these type of off seasons differently with USA basketball coming up?
Yeah, obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. For me, probably over like the last 4 to 5 years, I've kind of, after the season, tried to give my body at least 2 months of like no basketball. I'm still doing, like the yogas and the Pilates and, walking around, still being active and stretching and all that type of shit. But as far as I've tried to give my body like 2 months, I don't want to be on the basketball court at all. Actually like training. But it's challenging now because it's May 1st and in 2 months training camp actually starts in Vegas. And I don't want to go into training camp doing nothing on the court for 2 months. So I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit. I'm not going to be, going crazy with my training, whatever the case may be. I'll probably take the month of May off, give my body an opportunity to rest. And then probably around the first or second week of June, I'll start to kind of get back into the game a little bit, start getting some routine shots up, getting a feel for the ball. So now I got the FIBA ball I got to work with too. So that's a little different, but just get my body reacclimated to just some of the movements that you never do in a regular day-to-day basis as far as when you're doing, workouts. So yeah, I'll switch it up a little bit.
I would always do the same thing, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on, when the season, obviously, the years I made the finals, conference finals, those 2 years, my break from basketball was a little bit shorter, but I kept my body going. The thing that I realized though when I got older is like, I can't turn it off, because once I turn the faucet off, the water's never coming back.
It's over with.
So I became even more diligent in those, like in the basketball breaks, about like my lifts, my Pilates, my conditioning, all the mobility stuff I was working on, physical therapy, whatever I need to work on. Like, if I actually do take time off and do nothing, like I'm just gonna be done. Like that's the reality. There were some singular plays in that Denver series for sure. And we have committed, and maybe we haven't been perfect, but we have committed to avoiding, or at least trying to, the discourse. I am, of course, on the other side of this, working in media, so I see everything, right? And a lot of it's because it's you guys, honestly. A lot of it is blaming someone, blaming this player for this play, or this player for this performance. I get it, man. Like, it's part of the job. I understand that. I think what you said is important, and this is not an excuse for the Lakers. It's not. What you said is important. Denver is the better team. As an analyst, I would have told you that yesterday. I would have told you that 4 months ago. Hey, LeBron, I think Denver's a better team than you guys. Like, I would just be honest with you. You have played them 2 years in a row. We have spent some time on Jokic. He's certainly part of the puzzle, a big part of the puzzle. What makes the Denver Nuggets puzzle so hard to solve?
I think, obviously it starts with Joker, obviously. But I don't think Jamal Murray gets enough credit. He's not a part of the, all NBA conversation discourse. He's not a part of the I'm an all-star every year discourse, all that shit. And I think, people get caught up in just thinking it's just Joker. How do you stop Joker? Man, when it comes to nut crunching time, yes, Joker gonna make a lot of plays. But it's that motherfucker Jamal Murray that will send you home, and I'm a victim of it, and he just makes plays. He it's a sense of calmness when the ball is in his hand, and they're working that either that clear side 1-5 pick and roll, or that mid pick and roll, or that angle pick and roll, where he's either handling and Joker setting it, or he's playing touch game to Joker, where he could come off full speed. He has the ability to go back door. He's so shifty, the step backs, going right. It's not, you can't even dictate which way, you know how you can see, okay, this guy shoots better going this way. This guy shoots off the dribble going this way. Well, he hit 2 game winners on us in this series. One was a step back going right. Other one was a step back going left. So what the fuck do you do? And yes, we could have played the last one a little bit better defensively. But that's a different story. And then to add on to those 2 guys, Michael Porter Jr. is a fucking laser. I don't know if it's just because he sees the Lakers or the gold or whatever, but I feel like versus us, that motherfucker don't miss. He does not miss.
I called the one game where he literally did not miss in
in LA. He literally did not miss. He literally did not miss. And I was like, man, you can't even get, you know how they say, close the gap, get to his chest. He doesn't even see you. He doesn't see you. And then those other 2 guys, man. You got KCP out there, a guy who's just a winner, who makes winning plays. He could have 0 points. he can have 15 points and he's going to make an impact on a game. And the same with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, if he has 2 points or if he has 20 points, his impact doesn't change. He's going to rebound. He's going to stay. He knows his role. He's going to be in the dunker. He's going to slash from the baseline. He's going to guard. I just think they're super well organized as a group. And then obviously, their coaching staff is pretty damn good on knowing, what their strengths, and they go to their strengths. They avoid their weakness. They avoid their weakness. It's not many. See, the difference between great teams, good teams, and bad teams is to how many possessions can you go throughout the course of the game that meant absolutely nothing. Meaning, a great team won't go through too many games where they had terrible possessions where it was like, what the fuck are we doing? Where a great team would never throw the ball into the post to a guy and we're going to expect him to score if that's not what the fuck he do. A great team would never run a pick and roll with a player if he's not a pick and roll player. That's where the great, the good, and the bad lies. Denver, they know what their strengths are. And it's not nobody on that floor that does something that they shouldn't be doing. And I think that's what ultimately makes a great team.
Doc Rivers always talks about basketball as a game of mistakes, right? And it is.
Yep.
Like I get killed for saying this, but I'll stand by this. I don't think there's ever been a perfect player. I don't think there's ever been a perfect team. I don't know of a team that did not turn the ball over, did not miss a shot, did not lose a game. Like, basketball is a game of mistakes. Mm-hmm. What you just said is, I think, really important, and it gets ratcheted up even more in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And that is having purpose to every possession. Yep. That is having an intent to what we're trying to do on this possession. I think that's an important point. I'm glad you brought up Michael Porter Jr. because he has really, to me, embraced like the role that he has. And I've talked to him about it, and some of it is the guy has had insane injuries, the back surgeries, playing with drop foot, all that stuff. Yep. He's just grateful to play now. But I think he is the hardest player that is not like a primary scorer, right? He's the hardest player to close out to. Yeah. The reason I say that, he's 6'10". Correct. He elevates on his jump shot. They always maintain elite spacing. So if you make a mistake in your help or you make a mistake on the Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic coverage in a pick and roll, and you have to react to that, you have to overhelp, you get beat by Jamal Murray, ball starts swinging, you can't close to him. He just is going to shoot over the top. Mm-hmm. And if for some reason you are there soon enough, he's gotten elite at driving closeouts. Correct. He really has. Whether he's getting to his midi or he's getting all the way to the basket. Yep. Like, he's not a primary guy, but he's a star in his role. And as we see all the time in the playoffs, those guys become even more important in a series. Because whole point of the playoffs, LeBron, you know this, the whole point of the playoffs is like, how do we make every single player uncomfortable? And it starts with the star players. How do we make the star players uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, listen, Jamal hit 2 game winners on us, but you look at his numbers, we did a hell of a job on Jamal as far as making it tough on him. He shot maybe high 30s, maybe. I don't know the statistics, but maybe high 30s from the field in our series. And obviously, Joker's going to do what he did. Michael Porter is the one who kicked our ass. He kicked our ass. And you remember we was talking about, like, having luck to win a championship? Mm-hmm. Denver is a case for that. There's no way coming out of high school before the back surgery that Michael Porter would even be in Denver. This guy was a projected number 1 pick in the draft, and because of the back, teams get alarmed and whatever the case may be because of that. And he slid in the draft, and he slid right to the perfect position and perfect spot. They waited on him, didn't rush him, whatever the case may be. Then he got in, and then he was still a little injured, like you said, with the drop foot or whatever the case may be. But now he's in a perfect situation. He's in a perfect situation around 2 guys that you have to keep not only your eyes on them if you're guarding as a primary defender, but then another set of eyes. So there's going to be somebody on that floor that you're going to forget about. And he makes you pay. Like you said, 6'10". He shoots at the top of his jump shot. His elbow is right in your face too, so you can't close the gap because if you hit his elbow, there's 3 free throws. And he's a big time player.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching Mind the Game podcast. If you like it, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.